Whakarongo, dein Neuseeland Podcast.
Kia ora und Mensch, habt ihr ein Glück. Ihr seid jetzt Teil einer ganz besonderen Folge eures Neuseeland Podcasts, denn in Whakarongo reden Rebecca Burke und ich, Daniel Kur, heute nicht nur über einen besonderen Film, der gerade in den Kinos läuft. Wir reden auch mit den 3 Menschen, die diesen Film in erster Linie ausmachen. Es geht um die Doku I Am the River is Me. Und das ist ein Film über den Whanganui River in Neuseeland. Das ist mit 320 Kilometern der drittlängste Fluss in Neuseeland. Und das Besondere an diesem Fluss ist, er ist 2017 als erster Fluss auf der Welt zu einer juristischen Person, also Legal Person, erklärt worden. Und es war das 2. Mal, dass das überhaupt mit einer natürlichen Ressource passiert ist. Zuvor war das nämlich ebenfalls in Neuseeland mit dem Gebiet Te Urewara passiert. Corinne van Egeraat und Petr Lom sind ein international anerkanntes Filmemacherpaar, die in Holland leben. Und beide sind auf die Geschichte vom Whanganui River aufmerksam geworden und wollten die Geschichte dieses Flusses und den Menschen dort in einem Film erzählen. Also sind sie dahin und haben den Maori-Flusswächter Ned Tapa getroffen. Und der hat Corinne und Petr zusammen mit internationalen WasservertreterInnen und AktivistInnen mit auf eine Kanufahrt auf dem Whanganui River genommen. Sie sind also richtig in das Leben eingetaucht, buchstäblich. Sie haben aber auch durch Ned gelernt, was es eigentlich heißt, wenn ein Fluss eine so besondere Rolle in der Gesellschaft bekommt, sowohl politisch als auch kulturell, als auch in Sachen Klimaschutz. Rebecca und ich hatten die Gelegenheit, mit Corinne, Petr und Ned zu sprechen. Wir haben uns zusammen gezoomt über die ganze Welt sozusagen. Ned in Neuseeland, Corinne und Petr gerade in einem Café in Spanien, wo sie gerade an ihrem nächsten Film arbeiten. Und wir haben gesprochen über I Am the River is Me. Und gestartet sind wir ganz traditionell in dieses Gespräch.
But Ned, before we start, would you like to open our hui with a short karakia, maybe?
I would love to. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay. O tēnei rā tamihi atu kia koutou rā. A maruaka uratanga ro unu ia I mua waka I roto waka I tāne. E rongo he wakarea ki kirunga. A turuturu I te waka maua kia tina aumia uie taiki.
Okay. Kia ora. All right. Kia ora. So we're all ready now. Daniel and I, we have watched the movie with great joy. It was really exciting to see, especially for me. It warmed my heart and brought me back home a little bit and reminded me of all the beautiful experience I was able to have in Aotearoa. And it brought me back some connections to lots of memories and people I know there and things I've experienced. So this movie really touched me deeply, I must say. It was really... it came just at the right time because over here it's a bit difficult at the moment for us. So I'm always thankful to see things and touch with my soul again, and the things that are deep in my heart. And that movie did that. So I highly recommend for everyone to watch this movie because it will give you totally new perspectives on the environment, on people, on indigenous issues, on so many things that we are facing currently in this world. So maybe we start a little bit, maybe one of you wants to tell us a little bit about the movie and why you have made this movie.
So I would like to contextualize it a little bit also for Ned. The film is now in its 3rd week, I believe, in the German cinemas.
Mm-hmm.
So nationwide. So it went out in all the big cities in Germany. And we were there 3 weeks ago to do the first cities. But it's nice for you to know, Ned, that the people who are probably going to listen to the podcast, they are around Germany, I would say. And so they can go to the cinema near them and watch the film because there is
in the cinema.
So because it's being distributed all over the country. So hopefully it's still there when they listen to this. But I think so, right? Yeah. So that's really cool.
Yeah, and how did we start the project? Well, Corinne read about the Whanganui River back in 2017 when it was world news that it got this legal personhood. Mm-hmm. And it somehow piqued her curiosity. And strangely enough, she said, we have to go there and make a film about this. And which is strange because you read a lot of things in the newspapers, but somehow this kind of called her attention or called out to her. And then through a series of chance or not chance door openings, we were able to go to New Zealand, and we met Ned, and right away we're able to make a short film together, like way back in 2017. And then during that weekend, Ned told us and invited us to come back and make the long film with the story that you see. So,
how did you get in contact with each other?
No, we met. We just went out of the blue to Whanganui, knowing no one.
Okay.
And within a day, we had the pleasure of having a meeting with Uncle John, who's the main chief in the area.
Okay.
And he gave us a meeting and an audience and tested us very quickly, and we passed, fortunately. And he told us there's only one person who can help you, and that's Ned. And he picked up the phone and called Ned and said, "Ned, you have to help these people." So Ned likes to tell that he was voluntold to film with us.
Yeah.
How was it for you, Ned?
Pardon?
How was it for you to get in contact?
Oh, personally, I take any opportunity to share what we have. So it is, it's something that's been given to me by my father, my elders, and so not for me to hang on to, but it's for me to share. And so that's what I do as much as I can. Share what we've got, and hopefully somebody somewhere might take a little look at it and try something for themselves. Meeting Peter and Corinne was not planned at all. It was like voluntold, and then I have to say the friendship that we've forged together with Peter and Corinne is very strong, and the others that they brought with them. We're always asking how people are, our Australian brothers and sisters as well that came over. So it wasn't, and I'm glad to say it wasn't a documentary or movie that was shown and then is put to sleep. We're saying it's got quite a long tail and it's still thrashing. So even back here at home, we're still asked to go and do little showings in the little towns, and again we're gone. We're off and we do it. But yeah, from across the other side of the world, Corinne and Peter, and we've managed to do what we've done.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You did a great job. I think the movie itself really touches so many issues, the environmental issue, but also the indigenous questions, how we deal with indigenous people, what we can learn from indigenous cultures, and how we should interact with each other, and what we can learn from each other in coming together and sharing our stories, our lives, our experiences, our feelings about certain aspects. And so I think this is a topic that is really difficult to put in words sometimes, but this movie over the pictures makes it so much easier to understand what magic actually can happen when the right people come together at the right place. And the river facilitates this kind of environment that it's possible for people to open up and share and reconnect with nature, with everything that is around us.
It's so true. And that's why we have to share what we have.
Yeah. Ned, has your family always been kaitiaki of the river? Or
Yes. Yeah.
I guess there are many stories to be told back in the days and now, and because there's so much happened on the river.
Oh, so much has happened. Yeah. So much pain in the past.
Yeah.
And now we are where we are. Not saying it was everything that we were seeking, but enough to be able to have a say in what happens to our river.
Yeah. I guess especially now with the political situation, it's even more important.
Oh, wow. Yes, so true. So true. It's a bit up and down at the moment, a little bit scary what's happening here, but we'll keep moving forward.
That's the way to go. There's no way back. Yeah. Always forward.
No. Trying to take us back, but we're not going to go back.
Was the actual political situation also an aspect for you, Corinne and Peter, to come to New Zealand and to make this film?
Or is it
Well,
because the story of the river itself is very big, but now it has become a special political situation now?
Well, it was actually more politically, globally, and in Ontario as well. It was a happier time when we started on the project.
Okay.
Or more inspiring time politically. So that's kind of changed since we made the film. Also, for global environmental news, it's not the most positive time right now. So we think the film is all the more important. So yeah.
Yeah, I think when I first read about rights of nature, or especially in this case, a legal personhood, that it kind of opened a realm for me in my head. So I was like, I never thought about it that way. And I was very curious because when I read it, they said, oh, there's this innovative legal tool for nature preservation and to fight climate change. And I was like, yeah, but there must be more behind it. And it really clicked in my head. And then when we went to Whanganui and met Ned and all the other whānau we met there, it became much clearer where the ideas come from. And so that for Peter and me has been a life-changing experience. So it was, and we are filmmakers, so we're not journalists. We really make things that are in our heart, and we try to tell a story, a cinematic story for to see in the cinema. So you have an experience. And for us, this resonated so much that after a meeting in the short film we made, we were talking with Ned and we agreed that it would be super cool to do a longer film, and that's what this is.
Yeah.
You want to say something about what we think about the?
No, I think it's okay as a start. I mean, it's Ned makes me a better person. And I say that
we're all good people.
Did you know that, Ned?
We're all good people.
But all the things we've learned, especially about the Maori values, have been extraordinary and really life inspiring and changing for us. Yeah, so we're super grateful. Yeah.
And not only for you both, also for the people who came with you from other countries. We can explain that the situation is not only you were on the river with Ned, also people from other countries. Tell us about them.
Oh, you're pointing above all to the scene at the campfire. Yeah. So those are young people who are doing this trek from one island to the other. Right, it takes I think 4 or 5 months to do the walk, and we just met them by accident it was just at a campground, and then we've got this beautiful scene. So, and that shows again, Ned is and both Brendan, they want to invite everybody over, that everybody to share with more people. So.
Yeah. And in total, we are with 13 people on two canoes. Yeah, so it's a river road trip. And the people on the boats are Maori, are First Nations Australians. And then there is us. We are like Dutch and Czech and Canadian. And we had a sound man from Norway, Ut, and the Pakeha New Zealander too. That's Richard, who is doing the second camera and the drone and the underwater footage. So we were quite and of course, Jimmy, the dog.
Yeah,
who is very important. So and we decided to all be in the picture, not only because of practical reasons, because on two boats, how are you going to hide yourself as the camera crew? That's impossible. And all the gear on the boat, it was totally overloaded. But so for practical reasons, it was, going to take a kind of a Hollywood production to hide us, which we are not after. But also, it's kind of simple way to show that we're all on the same boat. If it comes to our global situation at the moment, with where we have to really take serious action if we want to preserve what we have, or at least save whatever is left.
Yeah, that's true. How did you choose your Australian friends, or how do you know them, that they came over to New Zealand? Because I thought it was really, interesting to see that connection that has been made so quickly and the same issues. And the same way of thinking. In a way, it was, yeah.
So one of the Australians that came over, she'd been down previously on her own, having a bit of a holiday, I think, and seeing bits and pieces. And she came down the river. She drove down, and then she called into a particular place called Matahiwi, which is one of our marae or villages on the side of the river. And she asked if she could talk about the river, and my nephew said, no, but we'll give you a phone number and to ring, and that phone number was mine. So she came into town, and then she phoned me, and we sat down, had a cup of coffee, and then she just wanted to know a little bit about the river because she's an artist. Then I said to her, oh, well, if you ever come back this way, give us a ring. And then that's virtually what happened. You know,
so everything came together.
Yeah, it was really quite wonderful, really, because it just felt right. Yeah, and because it felt right, it just worked out right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Justine is an artist from Australia, and she works with First Nations Australians, and that's how she has a big network in Australia. And it was her talking to Ned, who decided that it would be a good idea to bring them over. Also because, their rivers are really dying.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a hopeful expedition for them to take, you know. And obviously, I mean, there's a lot of things that you have in common, right, Ned?
Yes. Yeah. And actually, our I suppose what we call kaitiakitanga, our way of being guardians of those particular areas, not about ownership, but being guardians and being a guardian. You know, I'm only one of many, many guardians all around the world. It just happens to be Indigenous people. And I'm really thankful to see and hear that now it's not just Indigenous people taking interest in our environment. The world is starting to do that in little pockets, but at least it started. Yeah.
Definitely. It's so important.
Yeah, sorry, Rebecca.
No, that's all right. Keep talking.
No, I'm lost now.
It's all right. No, I just wanted to say that, like, when we think about the United Nations and the Bill of Indigenous Rights and all that conversation around it, what we see over here in Europe on TV is very limited about Indigenous issues and how connected Indigenous cultures are around the globe, and all facing kind of the same environmental colonization problems and social problems. And so I think this movie is an easy way for the audience to start engaging in this topic and really feeling on a very, not low level, but on a very personal level, like person to person, what it actually means. Especially the scene when you talked about colonization trauma. That was really a deep conversation. It wasn't that long in the movie. I guess in real life it was a bit longer, but I think it gave a good glance on the scale of the problem.
Yeah, you're correct. We try and look forward, even though we know that that's been behind us and it is still sort of with us today and probably be into the future. Like-minded people, we will succeed somewhere along the line. You know, we only need somebody else to do it over in their country, and somebody else may do the same. But unless we make people aware to say this is not just an Indigenous problem, this is all of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Simple. Yeah. We can do it. Look what happened to the world when it closed down, Peter?
What Ned is pointing out is that when we visited him the first time, we made our short film just before COVID broke out. So that was.
And then you got stuck?
No, we came home. After we shot the film, but it was very funny because we were probing Ned, saying, "You know, Ned, how can we get this real global shift in values that you were talking about?" And Ned was saying, well, we need some kind of thing, where the world would shut down, sort of like, the economic crash of the 30s. We need something like that. Then COVID started a week later.
Yeah. I think I got a lot of death threats from that, Peter, by the way.
Sorry, Ned.
Corinne and Peter, like when you were filming, did something happen that surprised you, like that you weren't anticipating for yourselves while filming this, from the experience, doing it, going down the river, being in that environment, meeting those people?
Yeah, lots of things, but I mean, many things. It's kind of a longer process too, but probably the most surprising thing as a filmmaker was the openness in everybody that you see when we're filming, because a lot of the people on the trip we'd never met before, like Ned's grandson, Canwy, for example, right? Or that conversation with Stu, the one who never talks, and yet he's so open-hearted and willing to share. So, and at the sound man who's been doing this for 30 years from Norway, or 40 years professionally, he said he'd never experienced something like this, such immediate generosity, because normally that would come only after if you'd known people for a very, very long time. So that was really quite remarkable. Yeah.
Can I just add something that's really stayed with me, as well as the trip itself was special, not only for us who brought Peter and Corinne and the crew down. When we showed the movie here, it was so special for our own people, because a lot of them had never been on the river. We are used to paddling the river, but all we're used to seeing is what's in front of us and what's behind us and either side of us. Never have we ever seen the shots from a bird's eye view about our ngahere, our forest, our bush. It was like, that just was so powerful for us. And a lot of tears are shed by our old people, especially on the night or the day that we had our screening here in Whanganui. And the other thing, what's happened, probably more to your question, was that ads when we finished the journey, I don't know if you remember it, Peter, but he says, "I've been given my faith back." You remember that?
Yeah.
He said he'd given up on the world, trying to make the world a better place environmentally. He said he had given up. After the trip on the river, it picked him back up and said, "We still have a chance." Powerful.
So I think for you as filmmakers, Corinne and Peter, it's always nice to hear that your films are inspiring people. What are your feelings about this special film when you hear, for example, from Ned, who tells you that, and also in his country, it inspires the people?
Well, it's very humbling, because everything is always dealing with trust, and that's really what you build upon. So we were trusted enough to be able to tell this story and to connect and to be included in this, because if I say it correctly, because it's Ned who should be saying, but this sense of unity that is so important to the Maori, and to know that we could be part of that was just quite humbling. And then of course, the storytelling is what follows from there. So as for audiences all over the world connecting so much to the film, I guess it's because we are all connected to our water. So we are given an example in I'm the River is Me of the Whanganui River, which is a sacred river and is regarded as such. And it's not because it has personhood rights, it's because the people that you see in the film, and like Ned, have a relationship that is sorry, it's a bit noisy. Let me wait for the motor to pass. It is so much. I mean, you can talk about the legal side, right, or the personhood rights, but in essence, it's a change of values that we need, and the value system of Indigenous people and the Indigenous knowledge behind how a value system works that is what we try to communicate in the film. We couldn't have found better people to do that together with us. And I guess people can connect to that because they start understanding it. And then it's just a very small step to connect it to your own water, to your own river or to your sea. And so every audience that we've seen with the film, there's always people who are really emotional and who really think, oh, there is hope and I can do something, you know. So in a way, what we also trying to do together is to make a hopeful call to action, because it's not too late.
No, only takes 2 days. Only takes 2 days for the world to slow down and the birds and the bees come back.
No planes anymore, just a little virus. Everything stops.
Well, we know it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and if you talk about the legal side, I mean, this is the fastest growing legal movement in the world, and it's picking up all over the world, you know, and it's impressive. It's maybe not where it should be yet, but we do think that that's important, and it's actually the most important thing we can do right now is to fight for this.
Yes.
What do you think?
No, I agree. Yeah.
Have you planned about making more movies about other movements around rivers?
We're actually in Spain now, just starting research on a follow-up on a story that was inspired by the Whanganui, which is the Mar Menor, and that's the largest saltwater lagoon in Europe, and it was recognized as a legal person 2 years ago, and only until a few months ago, because they took it was appealed by the opponents to the Supreme Court. And so, in fact, on Thursdays, it will get its own, like, what do you have in Germany is like a social security number or a state ID number. It's going to be given to the lagoon on Thursday here. So, and the 3 guardians of the lagoon are going to be declared or appointed on Thursday as well. So, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting, because they always think it's so far away. It's not kind of like here in Europe. So to know that this actually happens right at our doorstep is, that's really amazing, because I didn't know that. So for me,
and most people don't know it because it's still a little bit obscure. But we're trying to change that, and to help change that, let's say, and this is also a direct consequence because we've been showing the film in Europe so much, and a lot of people come in the audience have that question, like, yeah, but what about my river? And if it had rights, how could it stand up in court against its polluters? Well, this is the Mar Menor is the first ecosystem in Europe that has been recognized as a legal person, and this is exactly what they will try to do, to have it stand up in courts. And so we do go from, you know, what's most important is the values and the belief system, or to change the way we look at the living world around us and recognize that we are just a part of that and not above it. But then here in Europe, where legal language is so much more important, so how does that work? So that's what we would like to do without, skipping the lagoon itself, of course, because we love being there and filming.
Yeah, but we're just beginning. So
we're just beginning. Okay. It's going to be a couple of years before you see the film.
Wow,
very interesting.
Look forward to.
Yeah. We would hope to bring Ned over sometime here with some people to get acquainted.
Ned, I think one of the messages of the film, or what I have learned about the film, is you didn't really said this in the original, but I thought this was a message to have the situation, have a river as a legal person does not mean to own this river, but to care for it. That's what you do, what you are doing, and what you practice, and what you teach the other or tell the other people.
Yes, look, there's no doubt about it. We were going after ownership so that we could get total guardianship, because within English law, etc., it's about if you have the power, if you own it or own something. If you don't, you're seen as, as nothing really. I mean, we just look around the world. But we have been fortunate to be able to sit beside number of our councils to ensure that we are all looking after the flow of the river. And I'm saying all is Māori and non-Māori. Our city in Whanganui, which is the last place that the water actually flows past, but there are several others above us who are starting to do the same, because what they put in the river up there, we get it down here. So all of that, like types like raw sewage and that is been stopped from going in. So it's in the life of the river is in the river itself is it's just starting to really pick up. So look, 3 weeks ago, what did we have swimming up the river? Was a big fat seal.
Oh wow! How cool!
Yeah. I was hoping it would be a big fat eel, but it wasn't. But yeah, so if what we have done can help somebody change or look at themselves, and I've always said it, Peter, Corinne, go home to your rivers, and if you go for a walk and see some rubbish there, pick it up, because if 1,000 people pick up one piece of rubbish, you'd be surprised what sort of dent we could make in the rubbish. Anyway, yeah. We're just lucky.
It's exactly it. Everybody can take its share and change something. Just in your close vicinity, that makes already a huge impact. Yes. And I think sometimes we forget that, especially over here, like where Daniel and I live, it's really full. We are more than, I think, 5 million people living in this area. So basically you drive from one city to the next without even having an interruption of houses. There's just a sign that says this is the next city. So we are the most dense populated area in Germany. And over here, they've totally lost contact with nature, and they have lost contact with themselves, and as well like the impact they can make. Because it's always like, oh, someone else should do it, or there's someone else who should take care of this.
Yeah.
And I think sending this message is really important, and something we should teach our kids, our tamariki, that like, pick up rubbish, do your little shares, do your little things, and make a difference.
When we went over to the film festival, there was one question and answer. There was a gentleman in the crowd, and he said, well, it's okay for you because you can sort of walk out your back door and you're in nature, which made me think, yeah, you're so right. But then I said, well, you walk outside the cinema theatre and you breathe fresh air. That's nature.
That's right.
We seem to categorise nature as has to be this or has to be that. In actual fact, we are part of nature because we're breathing it. We're breathing her right now. So, yes.
I wouldn't completely agree with Rebecca, sorry, because of our Ruhr, our river. I would say in a situation, I think 3 years ago, made a film for my company about the Ruhr, where I was more or less in the same situation than you, to make a trip on the Ruhr. You can see that those rivers, we talk about many cities in the Ruhr area, connect people. That was my experience. So we have this connection in some parts of their life, maybe more in a touristical way, or to go on free time to the river, but it means something for the people. That was my experience. So there is a chance, and I think maybe this is a message you also have, Corinne and Peter. There is a chance to get the people be interested for this thoughts about getting more or a bigger role for the river.
Yeah, of course, but that's already happening.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people are coming to see the film. I mean, also in the Netherlands where we are based, it was just one of the most successful documentaries of last year, and a lot of different ages. I mean, also a lot of young people come to see it, and it's all because people can identify with the topic and can connect to the topic, And that's where we think, also what you see in the film, the young people around the campfire, they can all really connect to what they're seeing. So I'm not pessimistic, actually. I'm worried, but I guess it's very beautiful what Ned says in the film. Itine is step by step, and you can do a lot. And I think especially in this time in the world, the way it is right now, we need to have, hopeful things to inspire us. And I'm sure that I just believe that most people in this planet would like to go in this direction. That's otherwise, it doesn't make sense for me. Do you think?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. Ned told the story, but we had this when we had the privilege of having Ned and to come to the premiere in The Hague 2 years ago. It's 2 years already, yeah? And there was a journalist who wanted to interview Ned, who was from the big city of Rotterdam, where the river. It was last year, yeah. But and there's no nature to be found, and he sends shows a satellite photo he brought along, saying, "This is my river, and help me connect to nature, Ned. I don't know how to do it." And Ned told him, "Just go to the water and put your hand in the water, and just you'll feel what it'll happen by itself." And the journalist was so happy. He left completely shining.
Yeah, no, forgot about that one, Peter.
Yeah.
So obviously the movie triggered a lot of emotions and interesting reactions in the audiences, which I think is great. So you shared that a little bit. So we really like to encourage everyone to watch the movie and make sure go to your nearest cinema. Daniel and I, we will put up some notes as well, so people can find information where they can see the movie and get some more information on that.
Also in Austria, as I learned, in Austria it starts 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Because we have quite a lot of listeners from all around German-speaking countries.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the distribution is in all German-speaking territories right now.
Yeah. And it has undertitle, very important. So das Untertitel für alle, die nicht Englisch sprechen.
It helped me a lot. Although I speak.
Hopefully it shows in a little place called Wolfsburg in down that way, because that's where we ended up going to. So we might taxi driver might notice us. I mean, we're hard to miss,
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
You want to tell why you were there, Ned?
Yeah, tell Ned.
Oh, look, we had the opportunity. Our first mahi was to be at the film festival, which we did. And then because we were so close to other parts of Europe, we went down to Austria at a place called Wolfsburg. Now, that's where my father spent a good few years in the German prisoner of war, as a prisoner of war from the Second World War. So we were so close, so we went down just to see, to touch, which we did. Yeah. So again, all that was left was a monument of the site of the Wolfsburg Stalag 18. But it just fills a gap for us, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then we went to that other place that just floats on logs.
Oh, at the lake?
No. What is it? Venice.
Ah, okay, yeah, in Italy.
Because we wanted to paddle the water, but we weren't allowed. No, so we tried to get as much in as we could over the short time that we were there. But yeah, at the film festival, we actually met some real good people, and we're still in touch today. Still in touch by Facebook. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I think it connected a lot of people, and it still does. So hopefully it creates a big funnel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Only take one person to do it, share it with another person and do something, and then it becomes 3 and then 4. and then 4 million people.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be lovely?
What about your connection, more or less for the end? Are you? Would you say you are friends now, or would you say, or how is it? Do you see each other? I know it's a lot of distance, and you are traveling around the world, Corinne, Peter. But is Ned a friend for you? Is there a relationship? Tell us about.
Well, I can always use Ned. Go ahead.
David, Daniel, we've got a saying here: a brother and sister, a brother from another mother, and a sister from another mother. So, honestly, yeah, it's more than just a friendship. It's really we're pretty lucky actually to have met these two. You know, at the beginning, you know, New Zealand was named after a Dutchman, eh? You know, or New Zealandia was named after a Dutchman named it. So next minute she turns up on our doorstep.
Yeah. I'm actually I was born on the border of Zealand in the Netherlands, so so that's But of course, we're just we've
super grateful for Ned's love.
Yes, and it's right back to all the people who we met with Ned and around Ned.
Even our Australian friends, we've been over there twice to support them.
Yeah.
I just ask because we meet digital for the now at the moment, but we see your connection and how the journey you've made.
Yeah. Well, we've got a saying, you know, kānoi ki te kānoi, or face to face, and face to face has to be humans' breath touching each other, so we can actually feel and see. I mean, I can see you, but I can't feel you, if you know what I mean. But I can certainly tell that you're good people. But when it's just the way we are, you know. Rather than being in front of you, rather than in front on this. But hey, this is technology, and it brings so many more people together.
It does.
Yeah.
Next time I come to New Zealand, Ned, I'm going to visit you. Definitely come with my kids.
You do that, honestly.
Yeah, I
Peter
will.
and Corinne got my phone number.
We will go on a journey on the river together.
Definitely. Definitely. Daniel, you can come too.
Yeah, of course. I thought that was a question. I would really like to. It was very inspiring only to see the film.
Yeah. Corinne and Peter, you better come back as well.
Yeah, I know. We wish you were next door, you know.
Yeah.
But we will see each other. We will see each other soon, hopefully.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. I think we had a good chat about lots of issues on the movie and the journey and the stories behind it. And we're really thankful to get to know you and your experiences that you shared with us. I think that was really insightful for our listeners. Our time nearly comes to an end. I see here we have 9 minutes left roughly. So I would say if there's anything else you would like to share with the world and our listeners, this is your spot now.
We can just say no.
Yeah. Where you go, Peter?
No, go ahead, Ned. You first.
No, you first, sir. You're bigger than me.
I only want to say that we had the privilege of traveling to 5 cities in Germany when the film was released, and we were really blown away because all the cinemas were full, sold out. And the kind of emotional reactions we got from audiences was really very inspiring. Because people were really moved and inspired, and you think, the film is doing the work it's supposed to. So, yeah.
And with every screening, it was there was partnerships with local and international organizations, and there's so many. So working
on rights of nature and river rights. And
and the grandmothers against climate change and a lot of organizations. And so if you see the film and you want to do something, it's just a Google away, you know, because there's organizations everywhere that are now fighting for their rivers.
You can also reach out to us. Our website is iamtheriver.org, and if you want to set up a community screening or for your organization, just drop us a note.
Yeah, or just want to receive the newsletter.
Yeah. Awesome.
Ned, we'll leave the last word to you.
Pardon,
We
Corinne?
leave the last word to you.
Look,
We leave the
just
last
thank
word to
you.
you.
Just thank you, Daniel and Rebecca, for this time. Be able to share what we've all done, all of us. Many nations have been part of this journey, something that we don't forget. And just like I've said previously, only hope that somebody else out there from another river, from another mountain, from another land, thinks about how they could do it. Because believe me, if we can do it, being here in this country, it should be able to be done elsewhere. Anyway, nice to meet you both.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ned. Do you want to close our meeting as well, since you opened it?
Okay. All right, Daniel, we'll see you in about 6 to 8 months' time, yeah?
Yeah, of course. I promise.
Okay. Oh, look, thank you very much again, and I will close us off for this evening. So, aio kia rangi nui e tū i o nei, aio kia papa e takoto ake nei, ko te kawa ora, mauri ora kia tātou. So let there be peace on Mother Earth, let there be peace in the heavens above, so that our balance that we are part of remains whole. Kia ora. Thank you.
Kia ora.
Kia ora. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Daniel, Rebecca.
Soweit unser Gespräch mit Corinne van Egeraat, Petr Lom und Ned Tapa, die beiden Filmemacher und die Hauptfigur in der neuen Doku I Am the River is Me über den Whanganui River in Neuseeland. Im Optimalfall haben wir euch jetzt neugierig gemacht. Der Film läuft in den Kinos in Deutschland schon seit Anfang Mai, in Österreich erst seit einer Woche. Wir hätten diese Folge auch gern schon zum Kinostart aufgezeichnet, aber ihr könnt euch denken, das ist bei 5 sehr beschäftigten Menschen über die ganze Welt verteilt nicht immer so ganz einfach. Nichtsdestotrotz, die Möglichkeit, I Am the River is Me, noch im Kino zu sehen, die ist da. Macht euch am besten für eure Gegend schlau. Ich bin mir auch sicher, dass es dann demnächst auch noch eine Form von Streaming-Möglichkeit geben wird. Wir können euch in jedem Fall diesen Film nur ganz stark ans Herz legen. Und wir danken Corinne, Peter und Ned für die Zeit, die sie sich für uns genommen haben. Ebenso auch lieben Dank an euch fürs Zuhören. Liked uns bei den Podcast-Anbietern, abonniert uns, kommentiert auch gern auf Insta, insbesondere zu dieser Folge. Und bald sind Rebecca und ich dann natürlich auch wieder hier mit einer neuen Folge. Ka kite.
Whakarongo, dein Neuseeland Podcast.